inciting incident of this whole narrative kicks off the exact second that suburban facade drops. The father, Alexei, comes home not from a long day at the office, but with a stolen SHIELD drive packed with top-secret mind-controlled data. And just like that, the American dream shatters. They're forced to escape under a literal hail of gunfire, fleeing to a dark, remote airstrip in Cuba. Now, this brilliantly illustrates the central theme of illusion versus reality that drives the entire plot. To young Natasha and Yelena, Alexei was just a loving dad, and Melina a warm mom. But the cold espionage reality, entirely different. Alexei was the Red Guardian, a data thief. Melina was a deep cover architect. They were Russian spies, simply playing a part until the villainous General Dreykov showed up to tear the girls away.
From that profound childhood trauma, the terrifying escape to Cuba, and their entrance into the Red Room pipeline, the story violently thrusts us 20 years into the future. Natasha is now a fugitive Avenger on the run from the US government. And her isolation is suddenly and brutally shattered on a lonely, fog-shrouded bridge in Norway. The past has finally caught up with her, and in the most dangerous way possible.
Let's dive into Section 2, Ghosts of the Past. After Natasha narrowly escapes a watery grave in Norway, she realizes she's actually being hunted for a hidden container of intercepted vials. And speaking of mirrors, we really need to talk about the threat that ambushed her back on that bridge, Taskmaster. This is a terrifying, fully armored enigma. What makes Taskmasters so incredibly dangerous from a storytelling perspective is that they mimic every single combat move Natasha makes. They block her strikes with the flawless precision of Captain America. Taskmaster isn't just out to kill her, they are hunting those very vials. Following the trail of those vials, Natasha tracks their origin to a dusty safe house in Budapest. But what she finds inside isn't a clue, it's a ghost. Her estranged sister Yelena. Their reunion is pure, unadulterated storytelling through action. It's an explosion of violence born from the exact same Red Room training. When the dust finally settles, Yelena reveals a horrifying plot twist. You see, the old Red Room relied on psychological conditioning, and Natasha thought she destroyed it years ago. But the assassination failed. Dreykov survived. He retreated into the shadows and completely upgraded his global network of widows. Now, they operate on microscopic, chemical mind control. Moving on to Section 3. The Broken Family Reunion. Realizing they have to somehow find Dreykov's hidden Red Room, the sisters orchestrate this spectacularly chaotic prison break in Siberia to rescue their father, the legendary Red Guardian. He then points them to the only mind brilliant enough to track Dreykov, their undercover mother, Melina. This leads our fractured family to a remote farm in Russia, where they confront each other over a deeply tense dinner. Yelena says, "The only 3 years of my life that ever felt real." Let's actually slow down for a second here, because the emotional weight of Yelena's words is just staggering. In a story that's absolutely packed with high-octane action and espionage, the storytelling brilliantly grounds itself in the universal human desire for genuine connection. Yelena is grieving a fabricated past. She's mourning a family that was mathematically designed for a mission, yet it was the only love she ever knew. But of course, that heartwarming moment doesn't last. The dark truth? Melina admits she's already betrayed them. She has called the Red Room right to their doorstep. In the unforgiving world of espionage, betrayal is a double-edged sword. It completely shatters their reunion, yes, but narratively speaking, it acts as the necessary catalyst. It pushes our heroes directly into the enemy's grasp, which, ironically, is exactly where they need to be to finish the mission. Here we are at Section 4, Betrayal and the Fortress. So, the captured family is drugged, separated, and brought directly into the belly of the beast. But they aren't just in some secure underground bunker. They are in a place Natasha never could have anticipated. The ultimate twist is that the Red Room is a massive, invisible fortress floating high in the clouds. This is such a brilliant piece of visual storytelling. Draco isn't just hiding, he has literally elevated himself above the rest of the world. The massive scale of this villain's lair perfectly mirrors the seemingly insurmountable, godlike power Draco holds over these women. He is literally and figuratively out of reach. But remember that double-edged sword of betrayal we talked about? Well, here is their brilliant infiltration strategy to turn it right back against him. First, Natasha and Melina use classic espionage misdirection. They secretly swap places using digital masks right before they're captured. Second, Melina and Alexei use all that confusion to sabotage the engine thrusters of the floating city. And the ultimate payoff? Natasha, perfectly disguised as her mother, gets to walk directly into Dreykov's primary office.
But just as Natasha drops her disguise to end his reign once and for all, the story throws a massive wrench into the gears. How do you defeat a tyrant you are biologically programmed to protect? Because the moment Natasha raises her weapon, she finds herself completely paralyzed. She is entirely unable to strike him.
This takes us to Section 5, Breaking the Pheromone Lock. Natasha is finally face to face with the monster who ruined her life, but her own body absolutely refuses to obey her mind. Dreykov boasts of his ultimate defense mechanism, a genetic pheromone lock woven into every single widow. Basically, if they can smell him, they're biologically incapable of causing him harm. This is just the ultimate, horrifying metaphor for the toxic control he has maintained over these women their entire lives. It's not just psychological anymore. His control is literally in the air they breathe.
And Dreykov? He doesn't stop there. He twists the knife even further by introducing his ultimate weapon. Taskmaster lifts their visor to reveal a face covered in cybernetic implants and horrific burn scars. It's Antonia, Dreykov's own daughter. Talk about a tragic consequence of Natasha's past. The young girl she once thought was acceptable collateral damage in her previous assassination attempt was salvaged by her father and rebuilt into a soulless machine of vengeance.
So, the big question is, how does Natasha break free? Well, first, she identifies that the biological lock relies entirely on her sense of smell. Then, in a move of sheer, brutal willpower, she deliberately slams her own face into the desk. She literally shatters her nose just to sever her olfactory nerve. She destroys her ability to smell him. Finally, free from his scent, she attacks. The physical cost of her liberation is absolutely agonizing, but it is the only way to break his hold. Suddenly, Yelena and Alexei's sabotage kicks in, and we hit the free-fall climax. The floating fortress literally tears apart in the sky, turning into a graveyard of burning metal. While the whole world falls apart around them, Yelena smashes the remaining vials, releasing a red gas antidote that instantly breaks the chemical mind control of the attacking widows. At the exact same time, Natasha copies the global data of every single operative across the Earth. And in this breathless, high-altitude descent, Natasha uses the very last of the antidote to cure Antonia, freeing her from her father's programming. It's rescue and liberation happening simultaneously in midair. Down on the ground, amidst the smoking wreckage of an empire, the wailing sirens of the American government approach. But Natasha doesn't run. She begins a new chapter, choosing to stand her ground to buy them time. She hands that copied data drive to Yelena, empowering her sister to go out and liberate the remaining widows. 2 weeks later, sporting a totally new look and a black market jet, Natasha flies off to rescue her fellow Avengers, completely ready for whatever comes next. What a phenomenal journey. Before we wrap up today's explainer, I want you to consider this. The stakes for Natasha and Yelena were superhero-level extreme, sure, but the core storytelling theme applies to all of us. How might we liberate ourselves from the programming of our own pasts to rewrite our ending? Because we all carry history, habits, and false narratives that hold us back. Sometimes it takes a dramatic, decisive action to sever that connection, so we can finally take control of our own story. Think about that as you go through your day. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and keep breaking those invisible locks.